Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number, I think this is episode 85 here on season 1. Ooh, man, today, last night was my brother's, completely all yesterday was my brother's wedding, and so it was almost impossible for me to come out with a video, which is why there was not one out yesterday, unless I would have woke up at like 5 in the morning and filmed. So we got it all set up the night before, which was Friday night, which literally took about the entire Friday, and then we had the wedding the entire day today. And so I'm still completely exhausted, but for you guys, I will come out with a video. And so first of all, I'd like to say congrats to Isaac and Cameron. It was very awesome. We really enjoyed your wedding, me and my wife, my wife and I, and Jacob, of course. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on into the show. And MrRollerable, I think I said that right, ask, market crash, or if the market crash is intimate or inner, like if it's going to happen, I cannot pronounce that word for some reason today. What is the best investment strategy for right now? So obviously we just went through some shaky waters the last couple weeks, and so people, are getting kind of worried about what the crash actually means and that kind of stuff. So here's some, I guess, tips and tricks for a crash. When you talk about a crash, what I'm going to assume is that you're talking about the stock market deflating or going down, which does happen about every 7 to 9 years or so since we've seen it, since the 1990s. So what does that mean for you? First of all, you want to keep your cash or your money as liquid as possible. So that means the most liquid form would be in actual cash. However, you want to also try to get some interest on that liquidity as well. So stocks are pretty liquid, but obviously if they're going to crash, then that's not going to be where you want to put them. So I would recommend something like bonds, because typically when inflation, and especially like U.S. bonds and that kind of stuff, because when inflation rises, stocks and bonds also rise in value, where the stock market typically dips when inflation rises. So bonds are a great investment. Obviously, if your portfolio is right now like 15% into bonds and 85% into stocks, you probably want to flip that and go like 60-70% into bonds and 30-40% into stocks. So that way, that money, so typically bonds and stocks, or bonds, big company bonds and government bonds are going to be like pretty safe for your money. Those are going to be the safest investments. And those are going to give you, maybe like a 2% return, but at least you're still getting some kind of return. And then when stocks and stuff reach the bottom, you can take that money and convert it back into liquid to put into those stocks and buy those at a huge discount. So that, I hope that makes sense. Also, REITs are a great place to invest as inflation goes up, which the stock market goes down, all that kind of stuff. So those are real estate investment trusts. Those will, they usually pay out dividends. Those are basically like rental properties that businesses own. So it's like a company owns those properties. You have, in essence, like stock in that company, or your investment part of that company. And then when that company gets paid rent, you get paid a cut of that. So that's another good investment right there. I would also, when the stock market dips, precious metals go up. So gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. So those are also great investments. I would not recommend doing like a stock form of those, so like an ETF or whatever. I would recommend actual like tangible, like gold and silver. So it's a little bit more expensive, but you actually have it to where on there, that company or ETF could go under still, even with the stock market. If for some reason it's like whoa, we're just going to sell it off here too. So it's better to have that kind of precious metals in actual form in your hand. And also, lastly, cryptocurrency might be a good investment. We haven't seen a whole lot of like dancing around with the cryptocurrency when a crash happens. So maybe people will pull their money from the stock market and put it over into crypto. Or if the US dollar dips, we'll see them pull it from the US dollar and put it into crypto. I don't know, because the crypto is so young that it's like, well, what's going to happen when the crash happens, or if the crash happens? We don't really know. So that would be a big gamble with that. I think it'll probably dip, because more than likely what I think is happening is that the US dollar, the world currency, kind of mimics what happens with cryptocurrency. So if we get a big dip in the world currency, or US dollar, euro, that kind of thing, I think we're going to see the crypto dip. But it could do the exact opposite. It's, like I said, I don't know. That's just my guess. So anyways, I hope that gives you a few ideas on what the best investment strategy is right now. If the crashes happen, if you're heavily invested into stocks, turn those into bonds, flip them basically. So go 60 to 75% into bonds, and 40 to 25% into stocks. That way you at least preserve a lot of your capital for when the crash does happen. Look into REITs, precious metals, and as well as maybe a little bit into cryptocurrency. So, MrRollerable, I hope that helps you out. Let's go ahead and dive into the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you ever been to China? Or as President Trump says, have you ever been to China? Anyways, I have not actually ever been to Asia. I don't think I've ever been out of the country of the States, even though I live like right down the street from Mexico. So, no, I've never been out of the States, and I've never been to China. That would be something that I would be interested in doing, but I think I would like to go to Europe first. Anyways, I hope that helps you out. Like I always say, if you guys have any questions regarding Stash, Acorns, or Robinhood, feel free to post them down below. I also do cover general investing advice like this question, business, Etsy, and coaching. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe up here and check out what should I do with my Acorns account in case of a crash, and this kind of cool video right here. And until next time, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.